everyone, Shabby Gamer here, and welcome back to another episode of our WWE 2K16 Universe Mode, and this is going to be our next episode of Monday Night Raw here for the current day roster. This is also going to be our first episode since our Extreme Rules pay-per-view, which you will be able to find earlier on in this playlist, or if you check out the description below, there'll be a link to all the playlists currently being run in the Universe Mode. As you can see, we've currently got 6, but over the next 3 weeks that will drop down to 4. We're going to lose Ring of Honor. I think this week will be our last episode of Ring of Honor. That will merge in with Global Force Wrestling as of next week. And then when we get to the Clash of Champions pay-per-view, we'll stop doing retro, I think, just to give me a bit more time to get all these episodes done for you to a higher sort of quality, rather than just rushing through them all like I'm a bit at the moment. But anyway, enough of that. Let's have a quick look at the card I've got set for you this evening. So we're going to start things off with our new United States Champion, Rusev, taking on John Cena. Then we're going to see another sort of prelude to the Women's Championship we're going to do pretty soon. The Women's Tag Team Championships, that is, sorry. As Tamina and Sasha Banks, Team Bad, take on Genetically Superior, I think it's called. Natalya and Charlotte. These two teams obviously suggested by Nick Aitken. We're going to see Dolph Ziggler, the former Intercontinental Champion, taking on Luke Harper. We're going to see Randy Orton taking on Neville, the Cruiserweight Champion. We're going to see a number 1 contendership match for the WWE Championship as Bad News Barrett takes on Cesaro. We're going to see the return here of Brock Lesnar, his first appearance here in the normal weekly shows as he takes on Kevin Owens. And then our main event this evening, bit of an interesting one this. Sheamus has approached the Authority about potentially joining, but they've given him the opportunity here this evening to prove himself as he takes on Dean Ambrose, who was unable to take the World Heavyweight Championship away from Seth Rollins last week. And as you can see, Seth Rollins will be accompanying Sheamus to ringside. So let's have a quick... Well, let's not. Let's get straight into our first match. It's me talking crap there. And here is that first match. It's going to be Rusev, the current United States Champion, taking on John Cena one-on-one. And here we go. Rusev, of course, won the United States Championship yesterday night at Extreme Rules against Roman Reigns in the Open Challenge. And Rusev's first match since winning that championship is here against John Cena. And Cena, a great start with that shoulder block. And we had 6 championship matches on our main show yesterday, and 5 ended up with brand new champions. Couldn't believe my eyes when I was watching it. And we also saw a brand new champion in our pre-show as well, as Charlotte defeated Bayley to become the next NXT Women's Champion. I'm sure Bayley will be looking for a rematch pretty soon. Maybe on NXT at some point. I have to keep an eye out for that. That'll be happening in the next few weeks, I should imagine. And like I said, probably the maybe week 3 or maybe week 4 of this month, we will be seeing. We'll probably be seeing the Women's Tag Team Championship tournament. Probably might end up being week number 4, just when I get a chance to, because obviously once we stop doing the retro roster, I can delete a few of my cores and get a few more in, because I need to download a couple of extra women for that tournament. I need to get the likes of Dana Brooke, who else? I'll get Alexa Bliss back, I haven't got her anymore. I want to try and get Athena as well. So there's going to be quite a few new women I need to get a hold of to really take that tournament to the sort of level we want it to be at. So like I said, that might end up being week number 3 or week number 4, depending on how ahead I am. Since I suppose week number 3 this month will be over the Christmas week, so I might get a chance to do a lot more episodes over the Christmas week. Might be able to catch up a little bit and get a little bit ahead as well. That'd be pretty good. Big shoulder block there by Rusev. Has Cena by the leg, but Cena manages to kick him away. And Cena pulling Rusev back into the middle of the ring. Cena has Rusev and has him up, showing great strength into the gut wrench suplex. And I feel like I've done nothing today but record these episodes. I've not done a huge amount today. I've done the retro roster. I've done 4 random matches. I've done the Extreme Rules pre-show, Extreme Rules, and now I'm doing WWE. I was planning on doing 1 episode of the G1 Climax Festival afterwards as well, but I think that might be a bit too much because it'll be gone midnight by the time I finish this video, I think. So maybe that'll be a bit too much. But I need to try and get as much G1 Climax Festival recorded as possible before I go before I get into next week, because I'm not going to be able to record 2 episodes a night. It's going to kill me doing that. So, yeah, I've got to try and get as much as I possibly can recorded tomorrow. So I'll get ahead of myself. It's going to be a really big week for me. I'm going to have to upload. It's not going to be too bad, because obviously Tuesday's only 1 video, because we won't now have our normal episode of Global Force Wrestling. So that'll be put on hold. We'll just have an episode of the G1 Climax instead. Of course, there should be an episode of G1 Climax I've uploaded now, or probably after this episode, maybe. But keep an eye out for that. It's going to be cracking, that is. We've got some really good groups. If you've not seen it, we did a 20-man Royal Rumble to decide the groups. That took place a couple of days ago, probably uploaded on Friday, I think it was. So that's definitely worth a watch. We've got some cracking groups in that one. Got my piece of paper here right next to me. And I can just run down the groups for you quickly. We've got, in group number 1, it's Okada, Chris Hero, Drew Galloway, Bobby Roode, and Michael Elgin. Group number 2 is Mil Muertes, James Storm, Davey Richards, Zack Sabre Jr. and Kyle O'Reilly. Group 3 is Austin Aries, Hiroshi Tanahashi, John Morrison, Tommy End and AJ Styles. Group 4 is Kurt Angle, Phoenix, Prince Puma, Shinsuke Nakamura and Adam Cole. It's going to be an incredible tournament, that is. It's going to be, like I said, across 6 days. Across 7 days, sorry. It's going to be 6 days of group matches, and the 1 day is going to be our semi-finals and final. That's going to be, I just can't wait for that now. Like I said, episode number 1 may have already been uploaded. We'll have to have a look at that. Oh, Cena with a springboard stunner. First time I've seen it so far in this universe mode. In for the pin he goes. 1, 2. Almost a free count. And you would probably fancy Cena to get a United States Championship shot at some point. Of course, he did defeat the United States Champion before Rusev. That, of course, was Roman Reigns. And after he defeats Rusev as well, which it looks like he's going to after hitting that AA. Cena with a pin. 1, 2, and 3. And there you go. John Cena does defeat Rusev here. Interesting result. Once again, there's Cesaro. Cesaro, who looks like he's after a title shot here from Rusev. Very interesting here. And here we have the update of a rivalry. And I've just realised I've buggered this up, haven't I? Cesaro has stepped up to challenge Rusev, the champion. Now, I've also put Cesaro in that match later on with Bad News Barrett for a chance at the WWE Championship. What I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to change that, I think. I'm going to have to put somebody else in the match with Bad News Barrett. Not sure who yet, but I'm sure we'll decide that as we get a bit later on. Maybe I can pick someone off the top of my head as we're going through. Yeah, it's a bit of a tricky one, this one. Okay, I've got something. I've got something in my head, and that's what we'll do. Yep. Well, let's have a look at the rest of this anyway. So you see, Rusev is on a not a hot streak, he's on a momentum boost already, and Cesaro's become his new enemy. And John Cena is already on a momentum boost, and now he's on a hot streak as well. So it's looking quite good for John Cena. And our second match here this evening is going to be a women's tag team match. Going to be another prelude for what we're going to see later on in the universe mode in that Divas Tag Team Championship division. It's going to be Team Bad, Sasha Banks and Tamina, taking on genetically superior Natalya and Charlotte. And here we go. Now, I'm just very, very confused because between the last match and this one, I've just been finishing off editing Extreme Rules, and I've just checked online, and it looks like I didn't actually upload last week's episode of Monday Night Raw, so I'm just doing that now. So it looks like you're going to be absolutely just completely have loads of these episodes just crushed on you now. I think we're going to have Extreme Rule, we're going to have Monday Night Raw, the pre-show, Extreme Rules, and Monday Night Raw all uploaded in the space of like 24 hours. So it's going to be a lot of current day roster footage for you to watch. I can't believe I've done that. It's only because I went in to check last week's episode to see what the episode number was, and I realised that I'd missed it. So I do apologise for that. And we are rectifying it right now. It's being uploaded. Sasha Banks there with the drop kick to Natalya. Sasha just sending Natalya the back of the head first into the mat. And Sasha, for me, is probably the best women's wrestler that the WWE have at the moment. After seeing the sort of work she's done in NXT with people like Charlotte, people like Becky Lynch, and most recently, of course, people like Bayley. She really has just shown what a talent she is. But unfortunately, on the main roster, she's not being given the chances that she really deserves. She's been demoted this week to wearing a unicorn horn with the New Day, which is... I know it's a little bit out of context. It is what it is, but I think the sooner we get Sasha being given her due and being given the chance at the top of the female division, the better. I think it's going to be a great addition to that female roster. At the moment, Charlotte's at the top as the champion. I'm not the biggest Charlotte fan in the world. I've mentioned it quite a few times in my videos. I think she, it's not necessarily her fault, but I think the WWE have just put her too much in with her dad, and I think it's just holding her back a little bit because she's not getting over because of who she is. She's getting over because of who her dad is, and that's the sort of problem she's got at the moment. There are rumours as well at the moment that she's turning heel, but we'll have to wait and see what happens there, whether that continues to happen or what. But I know she's facing off against Paige at TLC, which I say she's facing off a Paige against TLC. By the time this video is uploaded, I think that pay-per-view would have happened. So I'm recording this before the pay-per-view, so she's facing off against Paige at TLC, and there's rumours she's going to go heel, but Paige is already playing a heel, so I'm not quite sure how that would pan out. I think it might end up having something to do with Becky Lynch, maybe, but I think they need to break all those trios up anyway, because it was a good way to get these women up on the main roster, but at the same time, by putting them all into trios, you really reduce the amount of good matches you could have, because everyone was sort of locked in. Like, we really wanted to see the likes of Charlotte versus Paige and Charlotte versus Becky and Becky versus Paige and all those sort of matches. We couldn't see them because they were a stable. And now they're broken up, it's a good thing, and I just really want to see Sasha get the opportunity she deserves at the top of the female roster, and hopefully she'll get that opportunity here in our roster as well. Of course, these are two of the teams that are going to be involved in our women's tag team division as well, and in that championship tournament coming up towards the end of this month. Like I said, I need to probably get the retro roster finished first, and then once that's done, it means that we can delete some of the cores that we're no longer going to need, like Demolition and maybe Legion of Doom and Yokozuna, Hulk Hogan, people like that, and replace them with the people we need to make this roster bigger and stronger. We're also going to need a few extra people down in NXT as well. It's amazing. You think, oh, 100 cores, that'd be easy enough. But then, when you've got them, you're like, this is nowhere near enough for me. I need more cores. I need 200. I honestly think I'd fill 200. Sasha went for a big dive, and Natalya managed to avoid it, and Sasha crashed and burned on the ground there in front of the announce table. Yeah, I honestly think I could easily fill up 200 core slots. The amount of people that I've downloaded and have to re-download over the top of and things like that. There's some people I brought in literally for 1 or 2 appearances and they've disappeared again. Which is annoying because obviously I've downloaded them for a reason. I want to keep a hold of them as long as I possibly can. And as you may have noticed, this is a brand new Charlotte as well. We debuted her at the Extreme Rules pre-show when, of course, she won the NXT Women's Championship. And it does look better. I think it's probably the best Charlotte there is on the Community Creations at the moment. You guys will have to let me know what you think. And there's Sasha Banks there with the prelude to the bank statement. That backstabber bringing Natalya into the middle of the ring. Goes for the pin. 1, 2. And Charlotte was in quickly enough to break it up. And it's quite good how all these tag teams have sort of worked. And I say that it's very much the ideas of Nick Aitken. He's an absolute whiz when it comes to making women's tag teams. He really is. Well, I mentioned in one video we're going to have a women's tag team division, and instantly he just reeled off like 8 or 9 teams that all make sense as well. Of course, the Bella Twins are an obvious one, but to put the likes of Natalya and Charlotte together, it's so obvious now when you get told it, but it's something I didn't even think about doing. Of course, both of them coming from a strong wrestling family. You've got Natalya's father as Jim the Anvil Neidhart, and of course Charlotte with Ric Flair. And that's the sort of thing I meant with Charlotte earlier. WWE are very much using Ric Flair to help get Charlotte over, yet you very rarely hear about Natalya being the daughter of Jim the Anvil Neidhart. Because she doesn't need that. She is her own wrestler, and that's the thing, and that's what they need to get to the point with Charlotte with as well. They need to get to the point where she is her own wrestler rather than just living in the shadow of her father. It's a dangerous thing. It happens in a lot of sports when somebody's child comes in, the child of a legend. Oh, but I'm just hoping for Charlotte's sake they do it as well. Charlotte dropping a leg into the inside of that knee of Sasha Banks, probably setting her up eventually for the figure 8 leg lock. We know she likes to lock that in. Painful move. Sasha with that Sasha being caught with the electric chair. Sorry, by Charlotte. Referee slides. Charlotte slides back into the ring. Referee's up to a 7 count now, and Sasha's still down. Slowly back up to her feet, and does slide back into the ring before the referee can count any higher. Sasha now with that face buster on Charlotte. And across she comes and tags in Tamina Snuka. Tamina, of course, the daughter of Jimmy Snuka. And there was a spear by Charlotte, I think. 1, 2. It's not enough to keep Tamina down. Charlotte now with the head scissors there, and the elbows to the forehead of Tamina. Tamina's another one that I don't think gets as much use as she probably should do. She's a great wrestler, a big, strong female wrestler, and I really think she should be given more opportunities, really. She's not exactly the most charismatic female on the division. And she gets caught there with a natural selection. Charlotte with a pin. 1, 2. And Natalya takes Sasha Banks out, and Genetically Superior pick up the victory over Team Bad. Great victory here for Charlotte and Natalya. Is that going to give us any indication of who's going to come out on top of this women's tag team division? Who knows? Said that we got all of our championship tournaments wrong when it first started, so I'm not even going to guess. I'm really not even going to guess. You'd think the Bella Twins would be the most experienced as a team, but I think the team of Charlotte and Natalya might be one of the strongest. But then again, you've got the team of Becky Lynch and Paige as well. Just had a big match last night at the Extreme Rules pay-per-view. And here we see the natural selection by Charlotte. This is what finished Tamina off. And Tamina didn't spend very long in the ring at all. She literally came in the ring, got hit by a spear and a natural selection. That was the end of the match, really. So, unfortunate, really. But a great win here for Genetically Superior Natty Neidhart and Charlotte Flair. What a team these two are going to be. This is just the start of the women's tag team division. This is quite a long celebration, isn't it? You can never tell how long they are, so I always try and talk right towards... I try and talk the whole way up to the end and then cut off just before it stops, but obviously I buggered that one up. Ah well. And our next match here this evening is going to be the former Intercontinental Champion Dolph Ziggler taking on Luke Harper. And here we go, the former Intercontinental Champion Dolph Ziggler taking on Luke Harper. Luke Harper was also involved in that match last night. So it'll be interesting to see if Dolph Ziggler can get himself back onto winning ways here this evening. Ziggler now with a front headlock on Luke Harper. Now this was a feud I really enjoyed. When WWE did it it was about 6-8 months ago now, maybe a year ago. No, I think it was only about 6 months ago. It was coming out of the I think it was coming out of the WrestleMania pay-per-view. I think these two guys had a feud all the way down to I think it was TLC. They had an absolutely amazing ladder match, and it was really good to see. It was really good to see some of the stuff they really put together. I know Luke Harper from recent interviews was very unhappy about losing the Intercontinental Champion going towards WrestleMania. So I think he said that he really wanted to become a lot more noticed, and that was one of the things he did in that ladder match. He did a couple of really big dives, some stuff that was probably quite dangerous, to tell the honest truth, but it was effective. It really got him some mainstream sort of notice by the WWE, and it's done nothing. They've not managed to give much of a chance on anything else since, but hopefully they will do pretty soon. I really like Luke Harper, so we'll be using him at this sort of level quite a lot. Of course, he's already had an Intercontinental Championship shot. Now he's going to be in one of our free feuds as well, so we're going to get the most out of Luke Harper that we possibly can. Harper with that big right hand on Dolph Ziggler. Now a big boot to the stomach and then a big chop across the back as well. Harper now just stomping on the back of Ziggler. Another big clubbing blow across the back. Went for the big kick, but Ziggler managed to roll out the way. But Harper did catch him with that right hand, and just showing how I think I've noticed on this game that somebody always seems to take control at the very first start of the match, and they tend to go on and dominate most of the time. Luke Harper now did a big kick to the chest of Dolph Ziggler. And Harper with that clubbing blow across the back as well. Super kick out of nowhere from Dolph Ziggler straight into the pin. 1, 2. Oh, it's only enough for a 2 count. Big sit-out powerbomb there by Luke Harper. Clubbing blow across the back now brings Ziggler back up to his feet. And slams him down face first. Bringing him into the middle of the ring, and Luke Harper feels he might have done enough here to Ziggler. Goes in for the pin. 1, 2. Oh, so close to a 3 count. Now, one thing I have noticed, I'm not sure if it will count or not, but obviously on the Universe mode, 2 successive losses does give you a cold streak. So does that mean that since Luke Harper wasn't pinned in that Fatal 4 match, does that still count as a loss? I know he didn't win, but I don't think you lose unless you actually get pinned. So Ziggler potentially did get pinned on the Extreme Rules, so potentially if he loses here this evening, then he would go into a cold streak. But I think if Ziggler defeats Luke Harper, then I don't think Luke Harper would go into a cold streak, if that makes sense. There was a lot of babbling there, but I'm hoping you got exactly what I was trying to say. As Luke Harper now, the twisted Luke Harper, taking the top off the announce table and the monitors as well. What does he have planned here for Dolph Ziggler? I tell you what, it's quite often that we see wrestlers take the top off the announce table but never actually go through with it on this game. Ziggler reversing Luke Harper though into that stroke. Now Harper getting back up to his feet, and Ziggler is stalking him. Spins him round, and there's the zigzag. Dolph Ziggler looking to regain some momentum here this evening, in for the pin. 1, 2, and no, Luke Harper kicks out. Wow. Luke Harper kicks out beautifully there. Ziggler going up top, but probably not a wise move. No, it's not, as Luke Harper catches him straight away. Harper brings Ziggler back up to his, well, up to a knee, and now just slamming him head first into the mat. Ziggler DDT to the leg. Brings Luke Harper back up, and now sending Harper into the turnbuckle. Takes him up. What does Ziggler have planned here? Hooking Harper. The bigger they are, the harder they fall. And there's the super backdrop. And Ziggler now, we've seen this before, He's even got victories off the end of this before. He's going for the 10 elbow drops of doom. I'm not quite sure that's what he calls it, but that's what I call it anyway. Here's the big 10th one to finish it off. Like I said, we've seen him pick up victories with this before. Is this going to be one of the cases? No, he drops into a headlock. Wow. What just happened there? All of a sudden I've got 5 notifications on YouTube out of nowhere. I'll have to have a look at those in a minute. Ziggler now lining Luke Harper up once again. There's the zigzag. Great move by Ziggler. In for the pin he goes. Surely that's going to be all. 1, 2. And there you go. It is all. This time Ziggler does pick up the victory over Luke Harper. Great match this for Ziggler. He was desperate to get that victory. He did not want to go onto a cold streak after getting 2 successive losses. Super kick out of nowhere there earlier on in the match. It was only enough for a 2 count, that one though. This was the big front slam there. It's almost like a slam. He just sort of dropped him face first onto the mat. Rolling Ziggler over. That was again only enough for a 2 count. Close to a 3 though. I must give him that. And there's I think that's the first of the zigzags. I thought that was going to be it there and then, but evidently Luke Harper had different ideas kicking out of that one. But the second one was just far too much for Luke Harper. And Dolph Ziggler victorious here. So as you might have noticed earlier on in the evening, that is one of our feuds. And it's Ziggler who gets first blood in this feud. I'm pretty sure we'll get a nice little update after this match as well, showing us exactly where this feud is at. But yeah, great win for Ziggler. Lost the Intercontinental Championship only last night at Extreme Rules. But things are looking back on the up for him. And here we go. Here is a little update on this feud. As you can see, Dolph Ziggler is now on a hot streak after that victory. And Luke Harper is actually on a cold streak. I didn't think that was going to be the case. I thought since he wasn't pinned, that wouldn't count as a cold streak. But evidently it does. So this feud is now very much in the hands of Dolph Ziggler, who has become slightly more perseverant, more egotistical, more disrespectful in that match. So that's Luke Harper. Sorry, Luke Harper's become more perseverant, more egotistical and more disrespectful. And of course Dolph Ziggler's become more egotistical as well and more bold. And our next match here this evening is Randy Orton taking on Neville. And here we go. Well, Randy Orton kicking this one off in a very, very strong way. Just clotheslining Neville, the current Cruiserweight Champion, straight down. Of course, Neville actually lost the Cruiserweight Championship last week at NXT TakeOver Arrival, but did manage to win it back on the next episode of NXT. I wouldn't normally do rematches. I'm not a big fan of rematches because, especially on this game, when we end up having the same guys wrestling for the belt over and over again because it keeps changing hands. But yeah, I gave Neville a rematch because he lost the belt in a ladder match, and the ladder match was just awful. The whole dynamic on this game for ladder matches just doesn't work. So had to give him his opportunity back, and he won the belt pretty easily from Sin Cara. So hopefully he'll do a lot better now in his second reign already in this universe mode as the Cruiserweight Champion. There's a lot of other big names I'm looking at having involved in this Cruiserweight Championship as well. We've got the likes of Tyson Kidd. I think Tyson Kidd versus Neville will be quite good. Also, we could have Tyler Breeze involved in there as well. Who else is there? There's Heath Slater could be involved. Of course, we've got Kalisto and we've got Sin Cara as well. So, like I said, there's a lot of different people we can have involved in this Cruiserweight division. And I think it's going to be a nice addition to this roster. It really is. It's something that I think WWE should be doing themselves anyway. It really makes sense to me to do it. Randy Orton now with a big uppercut on Neville. Big uppercut there by Randy Orton. Orton now throwing Neville into that far corner. And there's a great exploder suplex. My mind's gone absolutely dead now. I can't even remember what I'm supposed to be saying anymore. It's just hit midnight, and yeah, my mind's gone a bit funny now. It's like it knows I should be sleeping. Great neck breaker there by Randy Orton. Pulling Neville back into the middle of the ring, and big stomp on the arm of Neville. Now on the ankle, and so Randy just working around the entire body of Neville, finishing him off with that big boot to the head. In for the pin he goes. 1, 2. Oh, so close to a 3 count already. Randy thought he did actually have it there. Boot to the stomach, another one as well by Orton, and a third. But Neville comes back with that front chancery. And a great hurricanrana. And that's the one thing that Randy's going to have to watch out for, is just the speed and agility of Neville. A great corkscrew moonsault into the pin he goes. 2. Enough for a 2 count. Neville now with that front chancery on. Randy Orton into the snap mode. A big boot to the back of Orton as well. Brings Orton back up to his feet. Against them ropes, and Neville clotheslining Orton to the outside. And are we going to see Neville, the man that gravity forgot, fly? And we do. Beautiful move by Neville. And all of a sudden, after Randy Orton dominating most of this match, Neville showing what he's got. And this would be a huge victory for Neville. Big German suplex. Bringing Orton back up to his feet. Now throwing him straight into the barricade. Jawbreaker there by Randy Orton on Neville. Some right hands, and Neville with the punch to the stomach of Orton now. Another hurricanrana. And Neville makes his way back into the ring. Referee's up to a 7 count, and Orton's still laid out. I think the referee's being a little bit lenient here, allowing Randy Orton a few extra seconds. Gets to an 8 count, and Orton does make it back into the ring. I think if the referee continued counting at the same level, then I think Randy Orton would have been counted out there. There's an angle slam there by Orton. And now Orton looks like he's lining Neville up. Something we don't see in WWE at all is that big punt to the head. We don't see that anymore because of how dangerous that move is, but 2K have elected to put it on the game, evidently. Some big clotheslines here by Orton. Into the power slam as well. Orton rolling Neville over. Dropping a boot on the back of the arm of Neville. Orton now has taken Neville to pieces. It's been quite a good match, this, actually. I must admit, we've seen some really good moments in this. There's that draped DDT of the middle rope. Oh, Neville's been busted open as well. And now Orton lining Neville up. And surely this is all as the Viper slithers in and hits the RKO. Into the pin he goes. 1, 2, and 3. And Randy Orton picks up a big victory here over the Cruiserweight Champion Neville in what was a very good match, actually. Probably the best match we've had on this card so far, and probably one of the best matches we've had in the Universe mode for quite a while. But of course, keep an eye out for the G1 Climax Festival this week on Global Force Wrestling. We're going to have some absolutely incredible matches on that. We really are. We've got some big matches lined up. Just for example, on night number 1, we've got Kazuchika Okada versus Chris Hero, and we've got Bobby Roode versus Drew Galloway. That's just night number 1. Davey Richards versus Zack Sabre Jr., Mil Muertes versus James Storm, Austin Aries versus Hiroshi Tanahashi, and John Morrison versus Tommy End. That's our card for the first night. How good is that? So be sure to keep an eye out for that video. It should be uploaded either right now or straight after this video. And Orton did incredibly well. That was straight after the draped DDT. And you see him now just lining Neville up. Slithering into position. And then catching the RKO. Then sliding straight into the pin. And that was enough to keep the man that gravity forgot, Neville, down for the 3 count. So a great victory here for Randy Orton. Not quite sure what we're going to do with Orton yet this month. Not quite sure. But I do think we'll do a bit more than what we did last month. But last month he had the number 1 contendership match. We didn't see him apart from that. So hopefully we'll get a lot more of him this month. But coming up next is going to be that number 1 contendership match. I'm not going to tell you who it's going to be. I'm just going to let you watch the entrances. And here we go. We are Boston, Massachusetts for this number 1 contendership match. Here comes the former champion, Bad News Barrett, looking for another opportunity to get back in for that championship. Lost the belt, of course, last night to Bray Wyatt. And tonight is his opportunity to gain the number 1 contendership, to face off against Bray Wyatt again at our next pay-per-view, Payback. And that will be Payback for Bad News Barrett to get that opportunity. But who is going to be his opponent? I'm not going to say anything because I know if I say something I might end up giving it away. So who is going to be his opponent? I said what I was thinking at our last pay-per-view. I said I wanted to bring back a legend for a chunk of time. And as you can see, you probably guess which legend that is going to be. Fighting it out for the number 1 contendership for the WWE Championship with Bad News Barrett. And the potential chance to face Bray Wyatt at Payback. It's The Undertaker. And of course, Paul Bearer will be by his side. What an episode of Raw this is. We've seen the return of The Undertaker and the return of Brock Lesnar as well. We've seen a great match between Orton and Neville. Been a real top level card. As for some reason I've developed the hiccups, which is always annoying. And there's me complaining before, saying how long Daniel Bryan's entrance was. Whoa, this entrance is a fresh one. This is a very long one as well. But I think it's worth it. We all know how great The Undertaker is. Could you imagine how great it would be at our Payback pay-per-view to have The Undertaker versus Bray Wyatt? Just them 2 entrances back to back for that WWE Championship. But of course The Undertaker has to get past Bad News Barrett first. Not going to be an easy task at all, but so The Undertaker does have Paul Bearer by his side. And what sort of effect will Paul Bearer have on this match? We know managers are very effective on this game. The lights come up, the crowd go crazy, and the dead man stares in at Bad News Barrett. So what a match this has been. From what was supposed to be Bad News Barrett versus Cesaro, things have changed. Things have changed dramatically. Cesaro getting an opportunity at the United States Championship, and The Undertaker here fighting it out for the number 1 contendership to the WWE Championship. Look how good The Undertaker looks compared to last year's. It's amazing. Referee rings the bell and we are underway. Who will be going on to face off against Bray Wyatt at Payback? Will it be Bad News Barrett issuing some payback to Bray Wyatt? Will it be The Undertaker issuing some payback to Bray Wyatt for his recent beatings in real life in WWE? To tell you the truth, I've got no idea what actually happened at Survivor Series. I read the results and it just looked absolutely terrible, so I didn't actually watch it, to tell the truth. So I know it's not very good, really, considering I'm doing my own sort of series, but yeah. You see Paul Bearer trying to bring Taker back up to his feet, helping him up, but Bad News Barrett is there to try and take advantage of the stunned Taker. See if there's any ring rust to Taker as well. Bad News Barrett bringing Taker back up to his feet. Boot to the stomach, and then Bad News Barrett went for the right hand, but Taker caught him with a right hand of his own, and there's a big clothesline. Taking Bad News Barrett down. And just wrenching back with that arm as well. Taker slides back in, looking to win this by count out maybe. Referee's up to a 6, but Bad News Barrett comes back in as well. Barrett taking Taker up. Looking for almost like a Celtic cross. Powerbomb, but Taker managing to fight out of it, and now taking Bad News Barrett up. And a big delayed vertical suplex there, letting Barrett think about it mid-air. Letting that blood rush to his head. I think this should be my last episode before I go to bed, because I know when I start to get my words wrong like that, I know that it's because I'm getting a bit tired. So yeah, I think after this episode it'll be bedtime. I think it is past midnight now. I'm trying to, in between the matches, I am editing a little bit on my other computer while the loading screens are going. So yeah, it's a bit manic. Bad News Barrett just raking his foot across the face now of the I wanted to bring back a legend this month, and when I made the card I just couldn't find anyone that would fit. And then just the whole thing with Cesaro being double booked really just made it clear to me straight away. Undertaker versus Bray Wyatt is something that I wanted to see for a very long time. We did finally get it last year at WrestleMania, and I want to repeat it here in our universe mode. We did do it on our 2K15 universe mode as well. Actually, it was the final thing, the final sort of, I'm losing my words completely, the final sort of storyline we did on our roster. In for the pin, there goes Bad News Barrett. You see Paul Bearer has the referee distracted, and that's the sort of effect that the manager's having on this game. There's that big sit-out spinebuster by Bad News Barrett as well. As my laptop pings to let me know that's another episode edited. Excellent. Bad News Barrett now taking Undertaker up into a powerbomb and sit-out powerbomb. Bad News Barrett's doing fantastically well here against the Undertaker. Not the sort of result I was expecting, I must tell the truth. Barrett launching Taker over the top of his head now. Bringing Taker back up. I must admit I was expecting an Undertaker easy win here, but Bad News Barrett has really shown what he can do. I do want, ideally... How bugger that up? I do ideally want to see Undertaker versus Bray Wyatt at Payback. Be a bit pointless to return Undertaker for no reason. But it's not over yet. Not over yet by a long shot. Bad News Barrett is in control at the moment, but we know how quickly things can change on this game. Barrett now just pushing his foot into the face of the Undertaker. Taker just kicking Bad News Barrett away, and see Paul Bearer up on the apron looking to try and distract Bad News Barrett. Seems to have had the right effect. Saito suplex by Taker, and Taker is lining Bad News Barrett up now. Undertaker's going up top. Not sure this is wise. It's not. Bad News Barrett catches him and Taker drops to the ground. Taker now sending Bad News Barrett into the turnbuckle. Spins him round. And Barrett reversing front Taker into that corner now. Big chop in the corner. Take a big knee to the face there. Bad News Barrett fighting back. Spins Bad News Barrett over. Big stomp on the back. Taking our spinning Bad News Barrett round. It's a very short backdrop there. Taker struggling himself to get back up to his feet. 1, 2. Only enough for a 2 count. Both guys slowly back up to their feet. Oh, and Taker has Bad News Barrett by the neck. There's the big choke slam. That could be all. Taker bringing Bad News Barrett away from the ropes. Could we be seeing Taker versus Bray Wyatt at Payback? 1, 2. No, Bad News Barrett kicks out. Bad News Barrett kicked out incredibly easily to that choke slam. And maybe going for the Undertaker's head right now is what is he going to have to do to finish Bray Wyatt off? Oh, it could be launching him up into the air and catching him into a tombstone power driver. That could be possible. But again, very close to the ropes. No, he managed to pull the leg away. 1, 2. Oh, Bad News Barrett kicks out again. What is Taker going to have to do here? Chokeslam and the tombstone is not enough to keep Bad News Barrett down. But now Taker in control of the match. Taker bringing Barrett back up to his feet. Russian leg sweep there by Bad News Barrett. And there's the Windsor change by Bad News Barrett as well. The referee being distracted here by Paul Bearer. Paul Bearer's up on the apron, taking the ring pad off. And doesn't see the pinfall. And Bad News Barrett just super kicking Undertaker over the top rope. Bad News Barrett now throwing Taker back into the ring. And this match could really go any way at this point in time. Barrett has actually been busted open. Taker now lock it in. The headlock. You see the crowd getting behind the Undertaker. You don't want to get into a punching battle, Taker. But then again, Bad News Barrett was always put across when he first started as a bare knuckle fighter from Manchester. So maybe if anyone's going to get into a fist battle with the Undertaker, it's going to be Bad News Barrett. Taker has Barrett by the neck once again, and there is a second choke slam. And surely now Bad News Barrett's done. Surely that's 2 choke slams and a tombstone. And it is. The Undertaker is going on to Payback to face off against Bray Wyatt. Well, something that I wasn't going to do is now going to happen. A whole storyline I had planned for later on in the universe mode is now going to happen over the next coming months. And yeah, I'm really happy with this. I'm staying impartial. I've not tainted this match to any way, apart from obviously having Paul Bearer at ringside, which should have a big effect. But yeah, Undertaker going on to face Bray Wyatt at Payback. That's going to be a cracker, that is. That really is. And you see, that's the first of the choke slams there by Undertaker. I thought that was going to be all, let alone the tombstone and the second pile driver. There's the launch up into the tombstone power driver. And again, I thought that was going to be all, but not enough for a 3 count. Taker bringing Bad News Barrett up, and there we go. There is the choke slam, which finished the whole thing off. Bad News Barrett down. Taker's going on to Payback to face off against Bray Wyatt for the WWE Championship. What a great match that is going to be. And that's going to take place in 4 weeks' time at Payback. As I've said about 4 times so far. Undertaker showing once again that he still has it. Paul Bearer at ringside as always. And this is going to be a very interesting month now. And our next match here this evening, another big return. Brock Lesnar takes on Kevin Owens. And here we go. Something I was discussing last night in our Extreme Rules pay-per-view is how I've heard rumours on several wrestling news sites that this match is being considered for WrestleMania next year, which would be absolutely amazing. I think if that was the case, though, I think Brock Lesnar would probably have to. Kevin Owens would probably have to drop the Intercontinental Championship beforehand. I can't see Lesnar get involved in the Intercontinental Championship, and it'll be odd to not see the Intercontinental Championship being defended on the main show of the year, really. So I think that's probably. Well, saying that, is Kevin Owens really going to hold the belt for another 3 months? It's a possibility, but I think I'd sort of be happy if he did lose the belt now, with the idea of this match maybe at WrestleMania. Not quite sure how it would work. Maybe Owens could. Oh, if Kevin Owens won the Royal Rumble, that would be immense. It's been a long time since somebody won the Royal Rumble that everyone was pretty happy with, isn't it, really? I can't remember who was the last person to win a Royal Rumble that everyone was happy with. That's a question that I need to have a look at right now on my other laptop. Of course, last year was Roman Reigns, which got booed out the building. The year before was Batista, which got booed out the building. The year before that, I'm not 100% sure. Was it Sheamus the year before that? I think it might have been. Was that the one where it was Sheamus and then Sheamus defeated Daniel Bryan in like 16 seconds at WrestleMania, which was a complete travesty that was. I cannot believe that happened. Who in their right mind thought, you know what, the biggest event of the year, let's have Sheamus defeat Daniel Bryan, one of the best wrestlers we've currently got on the roster. Let's have Sheamus defeat him in 16 seconds. That makes sense. And our biggest event of the year, one of our 2 main championship matches as well. It just begged logic to me. But yeah, while my laptop is loading, I'll have a quick look and answer that question. But yeah, the last 2 years for definite, nobody has won the Rumble that anyone's happy with. If either of these 2 guys won the Rumble, I think everyone will be happy. I think it's more likely for maybe Owens to win the Rumble and maybe Lesnar to win the championship. But I still think it's all planned out for Reigns to headline WrestleMania once again. Whether that be defending the championship or fighting for the championship, I'm not sure. I don't think the fans would be happy at all for him to win another successive Royal Rumble. I don't think that can happen. I've got a feeling that Reigns might win the championship at Royal Rumble, though. I've got a feeling that Sheamus will defend it successfully here. The problem is that if Sheamus defends it successfully at TLC, if Roman Reigns gets another opportunity, that's going to be 2 pay-per-views in a row with the same main event. And that's one thing that WWE have been sort of criticised for of recent. It's just using the same thing over and over again. I don't remember it being as bad. I think when I was younger, we had... The feud seemed to change month on month. It wasn't like the case now where you get the same match. Like, how many times did it do Randy Orton versus Sheamus? That just happened like constantly for months. And the John Cena versus Rusev feud, that lasted about 5 months. That started from Royal Rumble all the way through till after WrestleMania that was going on. And I don't know if it's me or whether that is the case, and it's always been that way. But yeah, feuds this time just seem to last a lot longer. But it just seems to bring up a lot more repetitive matches, which is always a problem. Because we don't want to see the same matches week in, week out. But it would be great to see either of these 2 win the Rumble. I think either of these 2, Dean Ambrose is a possibility as well. Cesaro maybe. Cesaro's going to be out injured till after WrestleMania. Just trying to think of anyone else who legitimately I would be happy winning the Rumble. Dropkick there by Kevin Owens. And my computer is finally loaded, so I'm going to have a quick look. Right. I've got a feeling that John Cena might return at the Rumble as well, and again, I don't think the fans would be too happy if Cena was to win it either. See Owens there just cutting across. This is Brock Lesnar and taking him down. Where are we? What is this page? It's not the page I wanted. I wanted Royal Rumble winners. What's it showing me here? It's showing me nothing. Oh, maybe it is. Right. So last year was Roman Reigns. The year before that was Batista. The year before that was John Cena. The year before that was Sheamus. The year before that was Del Rio. Del Rio, I was quite happy when Del Rio won. I wasn't a big Del Rio fan, but it was a chance for somebody else to go on to Royal Rumble. I think probably the last person that anyone would have been really happy winning was probably Edge back in 2010. Yeah, but Roman Reigns and Batista both were greeted with huge amounts of boos. I think as was John Cena as well. I don't think the John Cena one was a big hit. I think Sheamus was playing a face at the time, so I think that probably was seen at the time. Maybe it was seen as okay, but I wasn't happy with it. I've never been a massive Sheamus fan. I think he's quite boring in the ring, to tell the truth. But he is main event in our show here this evening, so keep tuned. Yeah, keep tuned for that. Yeah, I've never been a big fan of Sheamus, really. Brock Lesnar with a pin here now. 1, 2, and 3, and there you go. Brock Lesnar is picking up the victory in the first match of this feud. I do apologise for talking the whole way through, but hopefully it's still been good enough. And I think this is just the first step of our feud in this universe mode, and it's going to be a really good feud, this one, taking us all the way to Payback. We already know that we're going to have Kevin Owens versus Brock Lesnar. We're going to have Rusev versus Cesaro. We're going to have The Undertaker versus Bray Wyatt. Those are 3 huge matches we've got planned in already for Payback. They're worth the admission fee alone. And we're going to have some other stuff going on as well. Of course, we're going to see Sheamus next in a chance to prove himself to join the Authority. He really wants to join the Authority, thinks he can add a lot. But yeah, he wants to prove himself this evening. Of course, Seth Rollins will be at his side. So thinking that, you know, he might have a better chance here this evening. Yeah, let me know who you think was the last person you were happy to win the Rumble. Of course, last year was Roman Reigns. The year before was Batista. The year before was Cena. The year before was Sheamus. The year before was Del Rio. The year before was Edge. The year before was Orton. Then Cena. Then Taker. Then Mysterio. And then back to Batista again in 2005. You let me know who you'd be happy to see win the Rumble. Because, of course, that's only a month away now. Wow, so after TLC, that's what they're building up to. They're building up to the Rumble after TLC. That's going to be great. I love the Rumble. Rumble's my favourite pay-per-view of the year. I'm going to have to see if I can get the day off work. The Monday off work, so I can watch it live. Although that means I have to go pay for the network again. Yeah, I didn't pay my bill on the network and they cut me off. Oh well. I've not missed much, I don't think. Great win here, though, for Brock Lesnar. Starting this feud off the way he continues to go. Of course, a great first appearance for Lesnar as well in our universe. Maybe not seen him since the championship tournaments. And I think he has some pretty good cutscenes that we can utilise as well. And here is our main event here this evening. It's going to be Sheamus with Seth Rollins by his side, taking on Dean Ambrose. And here we go. A chance for Sheamus to prove himself to the Authority here. He wants to be part of the Authority. He wants that backing behind him. He knows that being part of the Authority does give you more of a chance to get championship matches. It gives you more of a chance to win those championship matches as well, with guys like The Big Show and guys like Corporate Kane by your side. And also guys like Seth Rollins, as you can see here. And you've got to wonder with Seth Rollins, is he here to back the potential Sheamus joining the Authority, or is he here to get another one over Dean Ambrose? The arm breaker there by Ambrose on Sheamus. Ambrose throwing Sheamus over the top. You see there, Sheamus just kicking Dean Ambrose away. Ambrose with a nice quick punch and a chop and another potential chop, and Sheamus gets caught with the arm drag as well. It's Dean Ambrose with an interesting variation there. of a Fez press. Not seen that before. It's quite cool. I like that. Ambrose breaks the count and comes back out to join Sheamus, and Sheamus back in the ring, just baiting Ambrose back in. Ambrose does come in, and Sheamus was there waiting for him, now throwing him into the far ropes. And Ambrose catching Sheamus with the arm drag. Now throwing Sheamus into the turnbuckle. Sheamus fights back with the elbow. Now a Russian leg sweep as well by Sheamus. In for the pin, 1. Only a 1 count. Seth Rollins likes what he sees so far. And again, I say Seth Rollins looking out for himself here and hoping that that Sheamus does one over on Dean Ambrose, another one over on Dean Ambrose, of course. But at the same time, you've got to think that Seth is quite happy to have somebody else like Sheamus behind him in the authority, somebody with the presence of Sheamus to help Seth Rollins keep a hold of that World Heavyweight Championship as Sheamus rolls through there. Sheamus just stamping on the knee of Dean Ambrose as well, bringing Ambrose back up to his feet as both slide back into the ring as the referee gets up to a 7 count, I think. And Seth Rollins in the ring as well. Changes minds pretty quickly and slides back out, but probably did enough there just to distract Ambrose to allow Sheamus to pick up the advantage once again. Just another little bit of information. Is that the right word? It's not the word I'm looking for, but I'll take it. For the last 2 years in a row, of course, the winner of the Royal Rumble has gone on and lost a match in a triple threat. Of course, Roman Reigns last week lost a match to Seth Rollins and Brock Lesnar, and Batista the year before lost the match against Randy Orton and Daniel Bryan. The last person to successfully cash in the Royal Rumble win was John Cena back in 2013 when he defeated CM Punk, I think. No, he defeated The Rock, of course. It was twice in a lifetime, that's what it was, wasn't it? And the year before, of course, 2012 was when Sheamus defeated Daniel Bryan in the matter of 4 seconds. Oh, big boot there by Sheamus to the side of the head of Dean Ambrose. Sheamus slides back into the ring and referee's up to a 6 count. Ambrose is still down off that big boot. This could be all, you know. And there you go. Sheamus wins the match by count out. That big boot to the side of the head on Ambrose knocked Ambrose clean out. He's still outside. The damage has been done by Sheamus. And I think, you know, he's proved himself to the authority here. He's almost taken Dean Ambrose out now. Wow, that's an interesting result, that one. Very interesting. Who is going to go on to face Seth Rollins now for the WWE Championship at Payback? Is Dean Ambrose going to be in any sort of decent condition to do so? That's a very aggressive move he got taken out with. This is very interesting. Very interesting indeed. And there you go. Big boot to the side of the head. Ambrose drops down, unconscious as such. And the referee counts to 10. We're going to see the whole counts then, are we? You see Ambrose does try and get up to a base as the referee's counting, but it just wasn't enough. You see, he only made it up onto his knees and then collapsed back down to the floor. And Sheamus has definitely proved himself to the authority, not only defeating Dean Ambrose, but potentially taking him out. And you see Seth Rollins is happy with that, applauding the work of Sheamus. And you know what? I think Sheamus might just have a place in the authority in the very near future. Well, guys, that is the end of this episode. I hope you've all enjoyed it. And of course, if you have, then be sure to slap that like button. It does help me out a lot, makes the videos a lot easier for people to find, and ergo, grow the channel, make it a bit better for everyone. And of course, if you're new around here, be sure to subscribe for a lot more 2K16 footage. One other thing, if you've got any suggestions for random matches, please let me know in the comment section below. I will try and get them all recorded and uploaded for you as well. I've been Shabby Gamer, thank you very much for watching, and be sure to check out the G1 Climax Festival, which should have been uploaded straight after this video, I think. Bye!